Well, happy Friday, January the 4th, 2019, to all of you out there in social media world. Yes, this is Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago, and I want to give a special shout out to all of my Hebrew brothers and sisters, and again, let you know that I appreciate you, and you have, for the last 26 years of my life, been the wind beneath my wings outside of the Most High Himself. And why is that? Because I have been encouraged and I have been blessed by you as I see your motivation and your perseverance under such unfairness and injustice and unjust ways of my Gentile family members in what we have and continue to do to you for now 400 years. And that is why it is such an honor and a privilege for me to be able to have spent these 26 years living amongst such precious people, even before I realized and was told by the Most High Himself exactly how precious you really are, the true chosen people of the Most High. Well, today, and as I shared with my video yesterday, that truth is truth. But I do need to tailor the content, most of my content of my videos, towards my Gentile family members, as we recognize we are in this last year of the 400 years of you, my Hebrew brothers and sisters, oppression and curse of the Most High. And it also is the end of the reign of Esau, Edomites, that has really messed up everything. And so I want to share a dream that the Most High gave me shortly after President Trump was elected president. He told me that President Trump would be elected because behind closed doors at the voting booth, the majority of my white family members, Gentiles, Christians, evangelicals, would be voting for him for one purpose, and that is to make America white/great again. And even though they, could hide this motive and this reason from their fellow believers, those that don't want to reveal the truth that lies within their heart, their racial issues, they cannot hide their motives in their heart from the Most High God, Yah. And so they casted their lot. And therefore, Trump became president. And you know that his main goal is to make America white again, which is also equivalated to great. And if this is what great is, what this country has been like for all these years, I don't want any part of this great. But this dream came to me from the Most High maybe a week or so after he was elected president. And so I want to share that dream. In this dream, is a cousin of mine, Jenna, who lives out here in the Chicagoland, and through the last 8-10 years of us becoming very, very close, she has embraced the truth that we Gentiles have and are enslaving the true chosen people of the Most High, those that are in this country with that were brought from Africa or of black skin, with a lineage back to Abraham. And so growing up in southern Minnesota, and her growing up in Minnesota, it was very white. I grew up in a rural area of around 4,500 people. And the first time I actually met a black individual personally by name was when I attended Moody Bible Institute in 1994 at the age of 22. And so I'm going to share this dream, and Jenna was a part of this dream, and we were walking in southern Minnesota in the prairie with some kind of hills. And all of a sudden, as I looked over on one of the small hills, I noticed that there was a dead deer. And so we made our way over to this deer, and it was literally like on its back with its legs straight up. And as I looked at the deer, there were no gun wounds. There were nothing that was obvious that caused this deer to die. But it was in perfect condition. And as we were looking and marveling and wondering what's going on here, and we looked around, and there I saw more and more deer dead in the same way that this one was found. And I'm like, Jenna, wow, what's this all about? But we continue to journey in our walk, and all of a sudden I noticed that there was a pasture of Holstein cattle. Holstein cattle are your black and white cattle known for their milk that we drink. And they, just like the deer, were on their back with their legs straight up, dead. And as we got close to these deer, they were in perfect shape. There was no outwardly sign of why these cattle would be dead. And as I was again questioning what in the world is going on, because then I began to see these deer and cattle and livestock throughout the plains here in the southern Minnesota, as far as my eye could see, dead. And then as I looked at the grass was green, but it was dead. And I'm like, Jenna, something is going on here. Everything seems to be dead. And I looked up into the trees, and there were some birds that were holding on to the branches, but they were dead. And there were other birds that were in the grass with their legs up, dead, with no outwardly sign to why they were dead. And then over yonder, there was a lake. You know, Minnesota has lots of lakes. And so Jenna and I made our way over to this lake, and we walked out on a dock, and I looked down into the water, and the fish were floating dead. And I'm like, Jenna, what is going on? And by this time, our journey was coming close to a small town. And as we were getting to this small town, we were on now a street, a road. And I looked to the side, and there were these Holstein cattle stacked up on the side of the road, all dead. And being from southern Minnesota and familiar with farming, if you had a cow or a calf or something that died, many times the farmers would take these cattle and put them onto the side of the nearest kind of highway or two-lane road, and they would call the rendering truck. And the rendering truck would come, and they would take these cattle away and or dead pigs or whatever it is, and dispose of them however they did. And so that's what I saw, but they were stacked up high. Well, at that moment, one of the stacks of these cattle, Holstein cattle, began to shake. And as it began to shake, out from underneath, there was a bull that was coming out from underneath these dead cattle that were stacked up on the side of this road. And I looked at Jenna, and I said, Jenna, it's a bull. Bulls can be very aggressive, and we were taught to respect a bull and to keep your distance from them. And as I said, Jenna, look at the bull. We got to get out of here. There were all of a sudden all these cars coming and obstacles on this road. And so as we're trying to run from this bull, trying to get away and around to escape it, the bull got out from underneath these dead cattle and began to snort and come right towards myself. Well, at the same time of seeing this bull and making sure my cousin is trying to navigate herself safely across this road because there's cars and stuff coming, I noticed a young man that was coming up from the ditch towards myself. as if he wanted to talk to me. But just before he got to me, as I'm getting away from this bull, in that ditch where he came from was an old man with a long white gray beard. And the best way that I could describe where he was standing was behind almost like a kissing booth or an old-fashioned lemonade booth, where there was a board across the top, and then there, and he was standing behind this stand, and just before the young man got to me, he turned and went back down the ditch and stood and began to converse with this old man. And at that moment, this bull stopped chasing me, turned around, and went towards this young man and mounted him as a bull would mount a female cow to impregnate her. He mounted this young man and ended up killing him. Well, by that time, I had gotten past the road, and I'd gotten with my cousin into this small city, the small town. And obviously, the individuals in this city, in this small town, were prepared for a celebration of a parade, because people were all lined in front of stores, aligned on this road, this street, sitting in their chairs, holding flags, with smiles on their faces. But just like the wildlife, the cattle, the fish, the birds, and the grass or the ground, the land, they were dead. I saw hundreds of white individuals just like me, sitting in lawn chairs, sitting on the curbs, holding American flags, smiling, excited for something to come their way. But they were all dead. And so I woke up from this dream, not realizing at that moment what it meant. But now, through these last couple of years, it has become very obvious to me that this is a prediction of what is about to come into the lives of my white Gentile evangelicals who have casted their lot, their hearts, to maintain an ungodliness of white supremacy in the way that we treat not just even our Hebrew brothers and sisters, but all people that we have deemed less important or less valuable than ourselves. Anything or anyone that we will get rid of in order to keep control. The young man that was coming from the ditch was a young man that we had started to tune his ear into what I, or the Most High, is starting to say, but along the way he decided to go back to his old belief by going back to the old man to hold on to white supremacy, control, hatred towards the very chosen people of the Most High. And that the death of the land and the death of the livestock and the death of the cattle is a sign of what is going to take place across this nation, just like what took place before the release of your ancestors, the Hebrews, when they were held captive in slavery under the hands of the Egyptians. A bittersweet dream, because as much as I know my family and their deeds are so ungodly, there's still a part of a sadness to know that they're going to reject the truth. But there was a rejoicing to know that I was not amongst those that were dead, nor my cousin, which indicated that the Most High will give us Gentiles a last opportunity to change our heart and to worship Him in full spirit and truth. And that truth means that we must now embrace that we have been protecting or acknowledging the wrong people as the chosen people of the Most High. And that we now must face the lies that our ancestors have told us from the book of Jeremiah and renounce those lies and false teachings to embrace the truth of who the true chosen people of the Most High are, what we have been doing and have done to them for 400 years plus, and to then repent, acknowledge, and repay. Luke 21:24, even Jesus, Yeshua himself said that Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles will be fulfilled. Romans 11:25, for I would not, brethren, that ye should be ignorant of this mystery, lest ye should be wise in your own conceits. And I will say, we as white evangelical Christians have become very self-conceited, thinking that we hold all the truth and nothing but the truth, and that all truth comes from us. It's time that we acknowledge that we've held almost no truth. But Romans said that lest ye should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness is in part, is happened to Israel. And like I said in my video last night, that blindness that my black brothers and sisters in this country and across the world have been blinded to, that they are the true chosen people of the Most High, is being lifted. And I get emails and phone calls all the time of my black family members that are coming to the knowledge of who they really are, which gives them an understanding of why they've been treated the way they have been treated, as well as their ancestors for 400 years, because they are the true chosen people of the Most High. But as this revelation is coming forth to the true chosen people of the Most High, there's also that the fulfillment and the time of Esau, the Gentiles, racism, white supremacy is coming to an end. And that end to us to those in the Christian evangelical church is not just an end of salvation being given more to the Gentiles, but justice being returned upon us for what we have done to the true chosen people of the Most High. And the word says that the Most High, God, will give to the nation that enslaved his people a double portion of judgment. So I thank you for tuning in, and I pray that the truth of his word will encourage all of those that are listening, but that his word and what is happening will truly penetrate the hearts of my Gentile evangelical family members to acknowledge we have done wrong, to repent of our wickedness, and to begin to repay the true chosen people of the Most High everything that we have taken and stolen from them. Again, shalom. This is Brother Dana coming to you from Chicago.